Hey guys, Cassie here. Last time we explored the beauty standards it took to become one of the top 100 most followed women on Instagram. It was interesting to see that there were definitely similarities among the top 100. Like the fact that the top 100 was typically 22 years old, 5'7", Caucasian, dark-eyed, dark-haired, light-skinned, and had a flat stomach with an hourglass figure. It was super interesting to find that there was a very apparent look that dominated the top. This time, I wanted to get a little more personal. I wanted to check out the beauty standards of influencers in a vertical that hits home, the fitness vertical. Is there a look that dominates my category? If so, how is it different from the top 100 most followed females on Instagram? And how does the fitness beauty standard compare to the average woman in the United States? From a researcher standpoint, I was super excited to dive in and start gathering data right away. But from a personal standpoint, like as in an actual person with sensitive feelings, I was already feeling the pressure of being judged by my physical appearance and my social media numbers. Like, am I even popular enough to be a part of the top 100 fitness influencer circle? How would I compare against my peers? What is my ranking? I seriously had no idea because I've never looked it up before. And it made me feel super anxious, self-conscious, weirdly competitive, and nervous. But I put my feelings aside for the sake of research. After all, numbers only have power if you give them power. Otherwise, they're just data points. First off, I needed to define what a fitness influencer actually was. You would think that this would be an easy question to answer, but actually, it's a pretty messy one. Unlike the top 100 most followed women on Instagram, which was strictly based on Instagram follower count and gender, the results for the top 100 female fitness influencers on Instagram wasn't as straightforward. According to my observations after browsing through top fitness influencer lists on sites such as Forbes, Greatest, Hype Auditor, Refinery29, and a bunch of other sites, to be a top followed fitness influencer in this vertical, you do not have to be a certified trainer. You do not have to have a workout program. In fact, you don't even have to share any exercises or workout tips on your page. So, what does that mean? It seems that to be a fitness influencer on Instagram, the photos and videos you post to your feed should feel fitness aspirational, and you should exude behaviors that showcase an active lifestyle. Yes, this is a pretty loose and subjective way to describe what a fitness influencer is, and it's totally my own definition. But I don't see another definition that could encompass everyone on this list that I've aggregated of the top 100 female fitness influencers. They're made up of your traditionally toned trainers, to fitness cover models, to booty models, to WWE divas, to acrobats, and to girls who just look really smoking hot in activewear. Here are the attributes the top 100 fitness influencers were compared on. Age, height, eye color, eye size, hair color, hair length, definition on their stomach, lip size, skin color, ethnicity, face shape, prominence of butt, nose size, and overall body shape. So, what did I find? Well, to give you a feel of the fitness vertical, here are the most followed women in fitness on Instagram. Coming in at the very top of the female fitness influencer category are: number 1 is Summer Rae at 22.6 million. Number 2 is Michelle Lewin at 13.4 million. Number 3 is Jen Selter at 12.7 million. Number 4 is Anna Cherry at 12.3 million. And number 5 is Amanda Elise Lee at 11.9 million. Now, here's the beauty standard of the top fitness influencers on Instagram. Oh, and since I will also be recalling facts from my previous research on beauty standards from the top 100 female Instagrammers, let's distinguish the two groups by calling this one fitness influencers specifically, and the other one top female Instagrammers. The average age of a fitness influencer is 29 years old. She's 7 years older than the top female Instagrammer. Her average height is 5'5". She's 2 inches shorter than the top female Instagrammer. 72% have dark eyes. This is pretty much the same as the top female Instagrammers, who came in at 75% dark-eyed. 94% have large or medium-sized eyes. This is slightly more than the top female Instagrammer, which scored 85% for non-small eyes. 43% have blonde or platinum hair. This is really interesting because in comparison to the top female Instagrammer, 78% had black or brown hair and only 20% were blonde. 82% have long hair. Fitness influencers in general have longer hair than your top female Instagrammer, who scored 64% for long hair. 65% of fitness influencers have toned abs with definition. Only 9% of the top female Instagrammers had abs with definition. Difference in lip size wasn't too significant. 84% of fitness influencers have regular to thick lips, whereas top female Instagrammers scored 71%. 79% of fitness influencers have tanned skin. In the top 10, 100% have tanned skin. This is really interesting because 79% of fitness influencers are also Caucasian. And Caucasians are usually light to fair skinned naturally. This totally reflects the fact that fitness people like tanning themselves because it makes muscle definition stand out more. Trust me, as a former bikini competitor, I've been there. Fitness influencers are a lot less racially mixed and more white dominated than your top female Instagrammers group. The top 100 fitness influencers are 79% Caucasian, whereas the top female Instagrammers are 36% Caucasian. 48% of fitness influencers have a heart-shaped face. This is pretty similar to the top female Instagrammers. 64% of fitness influencers have a very prominent butt, which is much higher than the top female Instagrammer, who scored a 16% in butt prominence as a group. I'd also like to note that in the top 10, 90% have a prominent butt. And as I was browsing through all of these fitness influencer accounts, I noticed how many of them even pose the same way and take photos at the same angles to accentuate their booty even more. It's interesting how the rise of butt popularity on Instagram also came with the rise of fitness influencers on Instagram, and well, of course, the rise of the Kardashians on Instagram. But let's dive into human behavior and psychology for a moment, because I want to truly understand why fitness influencers, in comparison to travel influencers or fashion influencers, for example, like to post so many booty pics. I'm just really curious. So here's my theory. When you think about boobs and butts, two parts of a woman that are linked to sexual attractiveness, there's one that you can naturally make bigger and one that requires plastic surgery. Let's take pregnancy boobs out of the convo for a second. So now you're just left with the butt. You can generally make your butt bigger through glute workouts. Up, up, perfect, you guys. But you can't do the same for boobs through chest workouts. So that is why I think so many fitness influencers choose to post booty shots. It's supposed to create the illusion of a naturally sculpted body through working out. But is that the intention, or are they trying to be sexually suggestive without being sexually suggestive under the guise of fitness? I'm not sure. But what I can tell you as an observer is that booty shots rack up a lot more likes than regular posts. So I get the appeal. 79% have a B to C cup size. This is about the same as the top female Instagrammer. 92% have small noses. This is similar to the top female Instagrammer. 51% have an hourglass shape, which is literally exactly the same as the top female Instagrammer. Finally, 0% of fitness influencers are plus size. She looks to be between a size 2 to 4. On the top female Instagrammer list, only 5% are plus sized. So, now that I had the data, I handed it over to our artiste extraordinaire, Daniel, to create a 3D model of the perfect fitness influencer. Daniel looked at the stats and translated it onto a computer-generated body to help us understand what the Instagram beauty standard for fitness influencers looked like. Ready to see the result? Here is what your ideal fitness influencer looks like. Here is what she looks like next to your ideal Instagram girl. As you can see, the body shape looks pretty similar, but your fitness influencer is tanner, blonder, a little older, a little shorter, and has more defined abs and an even bigger butt. Now, it's one thing to compare influencers to influencers, but what happens when you look at real-life women who lead active, healthy lifestyles? Women whose job isn't to post fitness aspirational photos for a living. Women who go to work or go to school and work out without the pressure of likes and followers. Well, if you guys remember, I ran a survey a few months ago and nearly 14,000 of you filled it out. It was super crazy detailed, so first I want to say thank you to everyone who took the time to fill it out. So, are you curious to hear what the average follower of Blogilates who completed this survey looks like? She is 18 to 24 years old. She has brown, shoulder-length straight hair. She has brown, round eyes. She has an oval face with a small nose. She has thin lips. She has fair to light skin. She's between 5'3" to 5'5". She weighs 121 to 130 pounds. She has an hourglass body shape. She wears a 34B bra. Her waist is between 26 to 28 inches. Her hips are between 36 to 38 inches. When I sat down to look at the data, my mouth almost hit the floor. Do you know what's so crazy about this info? Literally, the average Blogilates follower reflects my height, my weight, my hips measurement, and my waist measurement exactly. The only difference is that you guys have slightly bigger boobs than me. Isn't that wild? Here's a 3D model of the average Blogilates follower. Here's an image of me. I'm really curious to know if the fact that the average Blogilates follower looking like me is a total coincidence, or if there is something scientific there. Like, do other fans look like their fitness guru? I have no idea, but that would be a really interesting thing to try to find out at some point. Don't know how. To take this a step further and step outside of my Blogilates bubble, I decided to step into the real world. I've heard for a long time that the average size of a woman in the United States is a 14. I wanted to know how true that actually was. So I went onto the CDC website, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and found the following data, which was last collected in 2016. An average adult woman over the age of 20 in the United States is 5'4" tall, 170.5 pounds, and her waist circumference is 38.7 inches. So, what does that mean? Since I didn't have any other info, I decided to take what I did know and compare it against some size charts on the most popular clothing websites. First off, Old Navy. According to her waist circumference, the average US woman is a size 18 to 20. On the H&M website, she's a 16 to 18. On Fashion Nova, she's also a 16 to 18. You can definitely conclude that the average US woman is not a size 14, or at least not anymore. Here's an avatar of what your average US adult woman looks like. Here's her standing next to an average Blogilates follower. And here's the ideal fitness influencer, just for fun. It's interesting to see how particular a certain group of women can look when you head into a niche interest. But I think it's only natural for the top people in a certain space to start mimicking each other. If someone sees a lot of success measured in likes, followers, and brand campaigns, others will follow suit. Whether that means posing the same, looking the same, or working out the same, it's clear that the influencer also becomes the influence. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just important to note that that is how an industry marketing image or look is created. Now, I want to share with you some other data I collected that I thought was super interesting. So, going back to the top 100 fitness influencers, I found that 87% do weighted equipment heavy exercises such as weightlifting, bodybuilding, or CrossFit as their main form of exercise. There was only one person doing Pilates as their main format, and that was me. 83% of fitness influencers do not show any data on nutrition. I get it though. I get attacked all the time for what I eat. 7% have advertised a detox, which is super concerning, especially as a fitness and health influencer. Only 44% have information about their fitness certification online. Like I said at the beginning, you didn't have to be a certified trainer to be a fitness influencer. The title is very loose, but I'd like to warn you that should you take advice from anyone, online or offline, me or not, please do your own research and please make sure that what they're saying is backed by reputable sources and backed by science before you start doing something weird that could potentially harm you. So now that we have all the data, I'd like to take a moment to self-reflect. Before I got into the project, I told you I was super nervous about comparing myself against other fitness influencers in the space. Remember how I said I wasn't even sure if I was in the top 100? Well, turns out I came out at number 60. Considering that I've been on social media for over 10 years now, I do often wonder how things would have turned out differently if I looked different. Would I rank higher in the Instagram game? The ideal fitness influencer, according to our data, is predominantly white. I'm Asian. There's only 3% Asian representation in this group. In fact, when you look at fitness magazine covers, or any magazine covers for that matter, you rarely see Asians at all. When I was on the cover of Health magazine, it was so exciting. I rarely ever saw women who looked like me in the media or in fitness, and I was proud to represent Asian American women on a larger scale. I wrote a newsletter explaining how excited I was. Want to know what happened? I got angry emails back saying how dare I bring race into this, and then they unsubscribed. I was honestly shocked at how racism affected my own fan base, which I believed naively didn't exist in our community. So I wonder then, how would my social following be different if I was white? If I had a prominent butt? If I had toned, defined abs? Honestly, I don't know. And realistically, I'll never know because I am who I am, and I'm proud that I've gotten to where I am today with this body and this mind. And I'm so grateful that all of you are here today with me after 10 years of doing Pilates on YouTube. Well, you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's research and found it somewhat interesting. Let me know in the comments below who you like to follow on social media. Really curious to know who you enjoy being influenced by. All right, you guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.